Hey, Ben Friedman here from the Beniverse. I don't do these types of videos much anymore. I'm in my studio. I have my fancy equipment. I have my fancy microphone, all that. Today, it's very casual. I'm redesigning my studio, so it's a mess. I can't shoot in there for a little bit of time, but I still wanted to get this review out, continue doing my reviews for this month. So that explains the casual appearance. I haven't been taken hostage. I'm completely fine. But I am going to talk about the movie today, Disenchanted, starring Amy Adams, Maya Rudolph, Idina Menzel. It is the sequel to the 2007 film Enchanted, which of course starred Amy Adams and co-starred Patrick Dempsey, along with James Marsden in this film. And I have to just straight up just be honest. For me to care this much about Disenchanted is weird. I am 24 years old, and I was excited for this movie. I think the first Enchanted movie is so underrated fun. I think the movie is wonderful. I think it's delightful. On the pantheon of Amy Adams performances, it's one of my 4 favorites. This would be on her Mount Rushmore for me. I love this performance that she delivers in Enchanted. I think it's such a fun, it's such an engaging film that it's just it's a film that I wanted to go back into this world and explore it. It wasn't a movie that I found to be particularly profound, but for what that movie was, I thought it was a really great hybrid of something almost similar to a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type, mixed with the Disney princess story. And so when they announced Disenchanted, I was legitimately excited for this movie. Like I said, I like Amy Adams. I like Patrick Dempsey in the movie. I thought James Marsden was crazy funny in the first Enchanted movie. That all worked for me. And then you get the announcement that Maya Rudolph's going to be the villain. Griffin Newman from Blank Check podcast was going to be voicing the squirrel Pip. It felt like a movie designed for me to love. And unfortunately, I didn't love Disenchanted. In fact, not only did I not love Disenchanted, I thought it was really bland and boring. Now, this is not an offensively bad movie. This is a film that if you do have kids, they're probably going to like this movie. If you're the right age, if you're the right demographic, you can get them involved, and they're probably going to have a fun time watching this. And if you're stuck, as the parent watching this movie, I think you're going to, at the very least, enjoy aspects of the movie. It's not so insufferable that it is only tangible for kids to enjoy. That's not what this film is. There is a little bit more substance to this. There is a little bit more fun, but there's not much that I was able to gleam onto in this film. Let's just start with the biggest question mark in the film, Amy Adams in this film. She's been on a rough streak of films recently with some of the projects that she's chosen over the past few years, including the Snyder films, including Dear Evan Hansen, including just some of the other films that she has attached herself to. It's been a rough stretch for Amy Adams, and unfortunately, it follows that. Now, is this as bad as Hillbilly Elegy? No, this isn't as bad of a performance as that. But this performance, it's not that it's bad. I think she's actually giving a pretty committed performance in it. It's just that it asks her to do not much. I mean, there is this aspect of the movie where she gets to play dual characters, where she gets to play a more good her good character, and then she gets to play the more bad side of this character, kind of like the evil stepmother prototype of this character. And that's a little bit of a fun balance throughout. But ultimately, the film doesn't give her enough to do even in those scenes. It's so stereotypical, just trope after trope, that you know exactly where this performance is going to come. When you're reintroduced to this character, it's been this thing where it's been 15 years or whatever since the first Enchanted movie. And it just feels like this character hasn't grown or lived a life since then. And that just makes it really hard to just connect with this film so many years later and jump back into it and really be captured by this world again. It does just feel like kind of a cash grab. And that was ultimately what really disappointed me in this film. It's not that anything is particularly bad. Patrick Dempsey, Amy Adams have good chemistry. James Marsden has some good laughs in here. I did not like Idina Menzel in this movie. I think she is playing it too theatrical. She's very much playing it like a theater kid, which I don't mean to degrade theater kids, but that's what the role really felt like. She's like, oh, I'm showy, and it just didn't work for me in any particular way. I will say Griffin Newman as Pip is really funny as the sidekick squirrel. He has he just has a fun accent throughout. He has some good laugh lines. Like, that element I was able to grab onto, and maybe that's because I'm such a huge fan of the Blank Check podcast and Griffin Newman in general, that I was able to allow myself to get more invested in that. But I think it's legitimately a pretty funny performance. He's going for something in the film, and it feels like really the only new life brought into the film in any meaningful way. But besides that, Disenchanted just doesn't really work. It doesn't look particularly good. It looks very bland. It's been the same issues I've been saying about Disney for the past like 5 years, where it's just like all their films look non-effortful. They just kind of look like grayed out CGI sludge shot on the back streets of Atlanta in their studios. Like, it just doesn't look particularly good. So that's another huge disappointment. The story just, it's exactly, you know, every beat it's going to go. Maya Rudolph is so playing the type of character, a stereotypical villain that you knew it would be. You know exactly where this role is going to go. Everything about this film is just so predictable. It doesn't have anywhere near the ounce of fun that the first Enchanted film has. It's just a sequel that I wanted to love so much, and I ended up just not liking this film, and I can't recommend it. It's again in this ladder of sequels that happen 15, 20 years later to much beloved films that just don't pan out, and that's ultimately what Disenchanted is. It is a movie that never pans out in any meaningful way. I did not enjoy watching this movie. I cannot recommend it, unfortunately. Thus, I am giving it 1.5 out of 4 stars. Anyway, with that said, thank you all for watching the Beneverse. Like I said, as I get more into my studio, as I get it back all set up, I'm going to be back. I'm going to have everything fancy. I've got a lot of cool things coming up. I have a lot of reviews. I'm seeing The Fabelmans in 2 days and Glass Onion in 2 days, so check out reviews for those when they post. But anyway, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe here on the Beneverse and follow me on all my social media. Check out this show. Check out everything I'm doing. Thank you for watching. My name is Ben Friedman. Take care. Bye-bye.